Lunch with Leah, episode 305.
Hi, everybody. You should see our studio today. Our producer, James, has gone off the rails a little bit. I don't know if he had a little too much to drink, smoked something, but we are set up better than Howard Stern. I mean, we are set up like the most professional radio network on the planet. I may have to start my own radio network. Oh my God. Well, anyway, so welcome to our podcast / Facebook Live. Oh my God, there's so much going on. Do you know how many people I've talked to that said they can't sleep lately, including me? Because there's just so much going on. I've never seen so much chaos in the planet as there is now. Between the hurricanes, the earthquakes, the fires, the volcanoes, the windstorms, the flooding, the tsunamis, Trump, the White House, and the rest of it, the world's gone crazy. Remember Girls Gone Wild? This is like the planet's gone wild. I've never seen so much of it anyway. Well, let's see. What's going on at my house this week? Well, you know, I told you guys Freda had her daughter here for 2 weeks and she left. And I knew Freda got all those braids. She's got all those Bo Derek braids that come down like literally halfway down her back. And she's got thousands of them. I mean, they're really thick when you put them together. I mean, it looks like a big, huge, like this Indian girls used to wear in their old days, and they're huge. Now she's got all these new hairstyles. She's twisting them around her head and putting clips in them and putting bows in them. And every day I go in the kitchen, she's got a new hairstyle. And I'm like, Freda, you've really gotten creative with your hairdos. I'm wondering if she has a boyfriend or something. I don't know. I kind of doubt it. Let me get my ink penned out. Then I told you we had the emergency with the dog. Had taken him to the vet last week, Dottie. She was bleeding. Well, she's fine and she's off the medicine and she's back to normal. That was a whole night drama where we had to rush home and take her to the vet, and I was so nervous. Something was really, really wrong with her, and she's going to be fine, so that's okay. And then I'm going to be taking RJ to Texas soon for a couple of days, and he just cannot wait to ride horses, and he thinks he's going to shoot guns. I'm like, I don't think we're going to be shooting any guns this time, RJ. I just don't think so. I don't know. He's got in his head that in Texas you have to wear cowboy boots, a cowboy hat, you have to ride a horse and shoot a gun. Where did he get that from? I mean, I think it's hilarious. So Beto O'Rourke is like going crazy with running against Ted Cruz in Texas, and I'm like rooting for him. I think he's like a uniter instead of a divider. He's young, he's new, he's fresh, he's got new ideas, and he wants to help the people of Texas. So I hope you'll check into his campaign. Then Roy's going to make another trip to New York for 3 days. Now, see, this is when I'm torn. Like, I don't want RJ to go off to school because I'm going to be depressed, crying, sad, in the bed with my head covered up all the time, my skin crawling, and just into complete depression when he leaves for school. And then now, like, Roy's going to New York for 2 days. I was like, well, you know, if Roy Jr. was in school, I'd be going to New York with him, and we'd stay 3 or 4 days in a fabulous place and have all those fabulous places to go and restaurants and museums and plays. So I don't know. I'm trying to convince myself I'm not going to be depressed when RJ goes off to school, but I might. I will. I know it. And let's see what else is going on. Oh, I have been working with a college counselor in RJ. Oh my gosh. Do you know what it takes to get into college these days? I mean, who knew? You got to fill out like all these applications, like maybe 10 or 15 to hope you get picked for 2 or 3 so you have a choice. And then you have to write all these essays about everything in the planet. I mean, I'm telling you, this is like major vetting. How did Kavanaugh get into? No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. But you know, you have to write all this stuff up, and then, I mean, then it's like, it's just luck. I mean, it's luck. It's a combination of your essay, your grades, your SAT and your ACT and your, your grade point average. And I don't know what other, I guess if the parents can afford it and then they have a certain amount that they give to people that need assistance. I mean, it's a whole thing. I think they probably, I don't know for sure. I think they have a certain amount of Asians and black people and Latin people and this, and then they have the alumni. I think you're like lucky to get in. I mean, if I have to homeschool them for college, we're gonna have have a big problem. He'll be reading at the 3rd grade level like Trump. Anyway, another thing, I posted a picture. I don't post any pictures anymore because my phone is so bad, if anyone hasn't noticed, my pictures, because I cracked it and the glass is broken on the back. And this is like an iPhone, what, 4 or 5? I don't know.
I think it's the same as mine.
It's like I've had it for like so many years. And RJ and his friends all make fun of me, but I don't want to give it up because I know exactly how it works and I know exactly where everything is. And I know they say you're going to get another one and you're going to put it on there and it's all going to be the same. It's never all the same. You're going to have to put in a password, which I don't know what mine is, and then I'm going to have another thing, and they're going to ask me for a birth date or so. I'm not going to know all this information. So I'm dreading it. But then I found us a bargain, Jason. So Jason researched it, and they're like $1,100 or $1,200. I am not going to pay $1,100 or $1,200 for a new phone. I'm not going to do it. How do people do this? I want to know how the average working person that has 3 kids has the money to buy $1,000 iPhones.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, it's out of control. They're taking advantage, and it's just a principle, and it's the money. So I call Wanda at the office. I go, hey, Wanda, is anybody getting a new iPhone? Oh, yeah, of course. They live in the ivory tower. They have to have the latest and greatest of everything. I mean, they're a big law firm. We're just the commoners down here. So I said, well, you know what? Well, instead of trading them in, why don't you give me and Jason one of the, they have a 10. Isn't there an 11 coming out?
No, they're all 10s.
Even the new one.
Well, what's the new one, 11?
No, it's still XS and XN.
Okay, well, they're getting the new 10.
Yeah.
And we're going to get the old 10 that they've had for 9 months. What's wrong with that? I'd rather have one they've had for 9 months and not spend any money. So I got Jason one too. I thought that was pretty good, right? Yeah, thank you, of course. Well, when you work for a big enterprise like this, you've got to have a big phone.
Oh my goodness.
Speaking of Jason, oh my God. So listen to this. Now Jason goes to Paris while James and I stay here and slave away. So I go, Jason, where all did you go when you were in Paris? I'm thinking he's going to say he went to this museum and that restaurant and this play. Okay, listen to where all he goes. Now this is the perks that you get by working for Leah Black Enterprises. L'Avenue, a famous high-end restaurant and favorite destination for celebrities and a fashion crowd. He went to the rooftop morning yoga overlooking the Eiffel Tower. He went to dinner at the famous restaurant Maison Blanc, overlooking the city of Paris, all glass walls on top of the building. Visited the Frank Gehry Design Museum at the Fountain Louis Vuitton, whatever that is. Foundation Louis Vuitton. Visited the Musée Yves Saint Laurent Museum. Went to lunch at the Café Marley next to the Louvre. Dinner at La Quinte, the famous restaurant. Dinner at Casa Bini. Hey, look how skinny he is. I can't. Visit to the Palais de Tokyo Museum, the Petit Palais Museum. Rode on the Paris Carousel, went to dinner at the famous Chinese restaurant Deep Champs-Élysées, shopping at the Goard Louis Vuitton Maison Mariella, whatever that is, and cocktails at the Plaza Athénée. Those were the things that he mentioned off the top of his head. Now, what's wrong with this picture, James? Here we are. I'm having a quesadilla from the Cuban restaurant next door.
I'm having a prepackaged chicken processed personal trainer food diet.
Our idea of the museum is the Discovery Channel. And I guess he probably did meet a couple of distributors that are selling our product at leahblack.com. Speaking of our product, this is our last week of our summer special. We're going to end it, I guess we'll end it Friday or Saturday or Sunday. For $145, you get one of every product in the line, plus a free signed book. You get the lotion, the cream. Either one of those are guaranteed to increase the moisturization in your skin 500% after the first week, 400% after the first 2 days. And that's a scientific study that we have. So that you can count on. And a serum and the lotion, that's what that does, or the cream. Then you get the exfoliant and the wash. So you're getting 5 products and a signed book for $145. No wonder I don't have any money. Well, give me everything away. I'm just realizing that. I'm going to tell you, you would pay $145 for one cream. Anyway, that's at Sudden Youth. That's at leahblack.com. Oh, you're all going to look so beautiful like me.
Bill and Jill Zachary say that they love your beauty products.
Yay! Everybody that tries them loves them. They all keep ordering more.
Yes, people are saying you look beautiful today. Hello, Leah from
thank
Las Vegas.
you.
We've got Lisa Price says hello. We haven't heard from her for a while. Lisa Bianca Moore also hasn't been around for a while. She's joining us again today.
Well, where have you girls been?
Well, I think that when we went on break, they did too.
Maybe they were listening and not telling us. Well, you know, all of our episodes are on, you can find them on YouTube, so you can go back and listen and see what you missed out on. And so then also this book, Fear, that Bob Woodward, who has written 30 books on different administrations and politics over the years, has 2 Pulitzer Prizes and is like completely legitimate, credible, I mean, rave reviews by people on the left and the right. His book, what's wrong with my book? His book, they have printed 1 million copies and they've sold them all and they're reprinting. 1 million books! Yes. I mean, can you imagine? And you know he negotiated a really good deal. After 30 books and 2 Pulitzer Prizes, you know the publisher gave him a really fantastic deal.
Right.
So, well, I didn't sell 1 million books, but my book, Red Carpets and White Lies, is just really good, dirty, trashy gossip compared to that politics stuff. Well, actually, could be a political book today.
We did have a couple questions about your products. Rachel O'Hare wants to know if she can get it in the UK.
You can get it at uk.co, leahblack.co.uk from Emily, our fabulous little adorable distributor over there. And you can get it all over Europe from her, by the way. And
they wanted to know, or they were all saying they're buying the products right now. So
yay! leahblack.com. I'm telling you, $145 for 5 products in a book. I'm sorry, you can't even get that at damn Kmart. And these are really sophisticated products with sophisticated claims made by scientific studies. And I've had this line. I mean, my God, I've been doing it my whole life. Then what else? Oh, then Jeff Lewis announced on his radio show last Friday that his grandmother had passed away. She had been on the show a few times, and you know, Jeff's mom died when he was like 14. He was a teenager. I think he was 14. He has 2 brothers. And so she was like, that was their mother's mother. So they were very close to her. She was really kind of like their mother after their mother passed away. And then he has a lovely stepmother too, by the way. But anyway, so we sent condolences. We sent some flowers to him. And they're going to have the funeral a week from this Saturday, he said. So that was a sad day. But you know what? She lived a great life. So good for her and bless her. Meanwhile, in other bad news, there have been 30 hurricane deaths so far in the North Carolina, Virginia area.
That's awful.
And I mean, but Trump goes there and says, this is the wettest water in all the hurricane history. This water's the wettest of all the waters. I mean, it's not funny. It's terrible. And this is the guy we're counting on rescuing you from your boat as you're rowing to get out of town. I mean, it's scary. But fortunately, the local government there had been very well prepared because they've had a lot of previous storms and hurricanes. So apparently they've done, as much as they could. But I don't think, they had people evacuate from the coastline, but they really needed people to evacuate from the inland because inland is where the water gets trapped. And if you look on the news and you see these pictures, I mean, even in the second story houses, it's getting up to the roof. So people stood no chance. And I saw this tweet the other night in the middle of the storm. This girl tweeted out, she said, myself, my grandmother, and my sister are stuck in the attic of our house. The car is underwater, the house is underwater, and we're in the attic. My phone battery's going dead. My last tweet, if anybody can help, and gave an address. And would you believe that got retweeted like 10,000 times? And somebody went and they rescued her and they survived it. But then I heard another story where a mother and 2 children were holding on to a tree throughout the night. And I never heard the ending of that story, but I just can't imagine it. It's good because it had to be freezing. The wind was like horrible. I mean, the rain was horrible. Oh my God, there's just so much I can't anymore. I can't. Changing the subject, RJ's taking lessons to learn how to drive now. Oh, God, I am going to have to start drinking. Honest to God. He should have already had his license. But he, every time I said, RJ, don't you want to get your license? Oh, Mom, I'd rather have a driver. Well, you know what? Everybody would rather have a driver. Get your damn license. So anyway, he finally got motivated, and he's taken his first lesson, and he has another one today because there's no school today. So let's see how that all works out. He won't be driving my car. He'll be driving Roy's. I can tell you that. Oh, I didn't tell you guys the other night. So Frank texts me and says, Kathy Griffin wants your phone number. So she texts me, and then she says, come over and have dinner with me and my boyfriend, Randy. And would you believe I was going to that horrible restaurant that I was complaining about with Roy and RJ? And so I said, Roy, I think I'm going to go have a dinner with Kathy and her boyfriend in her hotel room. He goes, okay, go do that. So I took an Uber and went and had dinner with her and her boyfriend in the hotel room, and I hung out with her for like maybe 2 or 3 hours and just, bitched about everything and left. It was fun. No, it was fun.
She's performing here.
She's performing Saturday night at the Adrian Arch because she was scheduled here before, and the plane almost crashed and they couldn't land in time. They had to take a detour, and she missed the performance, so they're making up for it Saturday night. So if you haven't got tickets, you should go. But all of her tours, her entire tour sold out.
Yes.
She sold out Radio City Hall and Carnegie Hall in 1 week, both of them. No one's ever done that. So she's on a roll right now, and she really is funny. I mean, she's really is talented. She spends all day writing jokes and promoting stuff, and she's a worker bee. So anyway, and then Flipping Out was on last night. I watched it, and it was cute, and I just don't want to miss that on Tuesday nights. I should be on it probably in an episode or 2 or 3. I don't know when exactly. I think it's like maybe, I don't know, like episode 4 or 5, but then I'm on it a few more times till the end, and then the big explosion. Oh my God, I was traumatized during that explosion, just so you know. I was traumatized trying to keep my head on and keep my smile on and keep calm, but it was traumatic. So La La Late, I guess, is that a website or it's a, I don't know, I guess it's a website
it's an entertainment website.
Entertainment website. So they're reporting again that the Real Housewives of Miami are coming back. Now they've been reporting this for 4 years. And I keep telling them, leave them wanting more, the fat lady's saying. But listen, maybe they know something I don't know. But apparently it's women from Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale and, more civilized. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. I love Miami and all the riffraff that goes with it. But anyway, I don't know if that's true or not. But there's another rumor. But now before we get into the Housewives gossip, did any of you guys ever follow Real Mr. Housewife?
Yes.
He had a Twitter feed, and he had a website, and he had a newsletter, and he was up on every last nuance, detail, backdoor gossip, behind-the-scenes gossip, show gossip of every single housewife show, plus Teen Mom, and all the shows that were on. And then I didn't hear from him for quite a while. I didn't see him tweeting so much. Well, it turns out he and his partner, who's also named Matt, which I've met both of them in New York. They came, believe it or not, they came from New Jersey all the way to New York just to have breakfast with me. So I bought them breakfast because they were so lovely to come over. But he wanted to meet me because he was into that whole scene at the time. And they're lovely guys. The boyfriend's a principal at a school, and Matt's a teacher at a school, plus he has his pop culture website. It's called Real Mr. Housewife. Anyway, they had twins yesterday, twin girls, and they named them after their grandmothers. Each one of them picked a name from their grandmother. So how nice was that? Well, I will show the picture, but if you're on podcast, you can't see it. But if you're on Facebook Live, you can. It's
they're
cute.
so cute.
Yep, 2 little girls, cute, cute, cute. So congratulations, Matt and Matt. I was invited to their wedding, but I didn't go. I don't remember why, but it was so far. I don't like to travel unless I really kind of have to. Speaking of housewives, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Well, Denise Richards was in a new movie, and apparently the girls all went to the premiere. So now we know why they put her on the show. So all the networks can promote their stuff. No, I'm kidding.
Commercial.
Charlie Sheen, her ex-husband, wishes them happiness, her and her new husband. They just got married, I think, on the first or second filming this year. And so there you go. And she said they were going to get married, but she decided to get married right away. And they planned the wedding in 24 hours, including making somebody make her gown in 24 hours. It was a last-minute decision. They got it done in 24 hours, and it was a dress. It was a shorter dress with an overskirt that kind of went over it and longer in the back. And she got a lot of criticism for the dress. But you know what? When you're getting married, dress however the hell you want to. I don't think anybody. I mean, why does anybody care? It's not like it's her first wedding going down in pure white, lily white virgin. I mean, show your knees and your ass if you want to.
She said she didn't care what anybody thought. She liked it.
Good for her. Well, you know, people criticized Joanna Krupa's dress when she got married. Now, I wish Joanna would have gotten my advice on the dress, and I think she's so gorgeous. She makes everything look good. It wasn't my favorite dress, but you know what? She had fun and she liked it, and so there you go. Anyway, they're filming now, and apparently Denise has been friends of Lisa Rinna and Kyle Richards for a long period of time. So we'll see what happens, see whose side everybody gets on. And then James texted me and said, "Oh my God, you got to look at, what is it, her when did you do the video things? What are they called? Their little live videos?
Instagram stories.
The Instagram stories. Okay, I don't know how to do them. Anyway, James sometimes films me doing them, but I don't have a clue. I don't know what to do. Anyway, so she did this Instagram story where she goes, it was her and Erica Jane going, "Oh my God, we're sequestered in the side room. We're supposed to be here for our photograph of the entire cast for the season premiere or whatever. And there's one girl that's refusing to have her photograph taken with the group." So now the speculation is, who's the one girl? Well, we know it's not Erica Jane and we know it's not Lisa Rinna. So then apparently Dorit tweets out and says, "Is it me?" And then apparently all the girls but one by one, were kind of letting us know it wasn't them.
Process of elimination.
Process of elimination. So the best guess is that, unless I'm wrong, my interpretation, best guess, is it was Vanderpump.
Yep.
And that would be shocking to me.
Yeah.
But you know, Vanderpump figures she's got Vanderpump Rules and she's got her pet show now. So what does she need them for? Maybe she's just pulling a power play, or maybe there was something. Maybe she got sick and was throwing up in the bathroom. Who knows? But the way it was presented, it was like she was refusing, and there was some drama and conflict going on. So I don't know. That could be good. I'm gonna tell you, those photo shoots. Remember when we did that commercial here, and I had to fly in from California to do a 30-second damn commercial to promote the show, well, at my expense. But anyway, one of the girls and another girl got in a fight because they had borrowed similar dresses from the same designer, and one of them starts crying and screaming, "You have the money to buy a dress and I don't." And there was a big fight brouhaha going on, and I just walked out. I didn't want to hear it. Oh my God. So I wonder who it was, and if the story's going to come out, and what everybody's opinion's going to be.
Well, it looks like the listeners' opinions are that it is LVP.
Well, listen, maybe she feels like that she's earned the right to call the shots how she wants them. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? We'll find out. I don't want to prejudge. I like all of them. I mean, there really aren't any of the girls on there that I don't like. I can't think of any, and I know most of them. So anyway, there you go. RHOC, Kelly Dodd. Oh my God, what an addition she was to the cast. I mean, come on. This is casting. This is like a casting dream. I mean, literally, to get Kelly Dodd, she will say anything, she will do anything, she will go after anybody, she will make something out of nothing every time, and it's all natural, and that's just how she is. It's not like she's plotting it or anything. That's just how she goes through life, stumbling into one problem after the other. So she gets into a literal bitch fight. She calls Shane, Emily's husband, a little bitch. Well, he is a smaller guy by stature, but the funniest line of the night for me is he says, "Well, you're drunk and you should just be quiet or something." And she goes, "I'm not drunk. This is my first drink and it's half full." And he goes, "This was the funniest thing to me. That's how your normal behavior is?" I thought that was the funniest line of the night. Like, but it was spontaneous. Like, "You're not drunk. This is your normal behavior." It was so funny. But she did stir up a fight, and then she tried to drag Vicky's boyfriend into it, and he wouldn't have any of it. And then, apparently, she made the comment later this last show that Vicky's boyfriend was dating her for the money that she had heard from another girl. And I'm like, Kelly, I can't believe you're saying this. First, I hope it's not true, but if it is true and you said it, I sure hope you can back it up, because they're going to come after you for this one, I don't know. That's what happened there. And Shannon's doing her blind dating, and the guy was very cute and very sweet, and he appeared to be very sensitive, and he seemed like a lovely guy. He had been married 30 years and had gotten divorced, and they went on a lovely date, and I don't know, I liked the guy, and so let's see how her blind dating thing goes. And then Vicky says she thinks everybody's always after what she has, and I was thinking, what does she have that anybody would be after? And I guess it'd be her business. It's not her boyfriends and her husbands, because they come and go. I don't know. And then Tamra was packing to go to Disney World and Epcot Center. I'm going to have to start drinking. What adult do you know that would voluntarily go to Disney and Epcot if you didn't have to take a kid out of obligation? I'm sorry. I've been there, done that. Too crowded, too hot, too many people. I can't. I just can't.
I had my own Disney nightmare last year.
Yeah, I remember. James's whole family got divorced at Disney. And then Tamara's going to Mr. Moon, Dr. Moon. Now, when I go to Orange County, I want to go to Dr. Moon because I believe what he's doing. He does this energy testing on people, and I shouldn't tell everybody, now they won't be able to get in. That's my big mouth. Dr. Broom, his name's Broom, B-R. He'll clean up your energy. So he does this energy testing, and he can tell you like where you're holding resentment or, anxiety or worry. Why are you laughing? Because I don't want anyone to know who he is now. But I really believe it. So Vicky goes and she's holding resentment, I think in her liver, and one of them's holding this and that. I'm going to go have that reading. I'm going to be cleansed. So I texted Jeff yesterday. I go set it up. When I come to LA, we've got to go see Dr. B.R. Emmy's. I don't think he's in Orange County. I think he's in Riverside. But I'm going to go because I loved watching that, and I've been following it since the beginning when what's her name's been going, Shannon. So there we go. I'm going to do that. In Atlanta, the big news of Atlanta is the drama is going to be from Ronnie DeVoe. He's the new cast member's husband, and apparently he was formerly in a former hip hop group called the New Edition. I guess he's still hip hopping. I don't know. But apparently the word on the street is he cannot stay out of the women's business. He's gossips and he just can't stay out of the business, and he's just stirring the pot constantly. So that should be pretty good. I'm excited about that. Should we take a little break and come right back in 30 seconds? I'm going to tell you what people are wanting me to answer for them. Well, we have this column called Ask Me Anything, and I noticed on my Instagram, James found this picture of me. I thought it was funny, too. It was a funny expression. And he said, ask me anything, and he gave the hello@leahblack.com. So people wrote in. So at Alkindsaluki, ALLKINDSALUKKY says, now by the way, I never read these in advance. He puts them in my pile, so let me see if I'm going to answer this one. How did you get to be so fabulous? Oh, that's easy. That's one I can answer. Oh, that's a natural. I mean, fabulous is as fabulous does. I mean, what's there not to be fabulous? Oh, my God. Well, that was a softball, Larry King. At DGANT17, when you were on The Real Housewives of Miami, did Bravo impose a fine to you or any of the cast, as was reported they do now? No, they didn't, and this must be a new rule. And I wish they would have had that rule. I wish they would have had a rule if you're late, if you leave early, if you lie, cheat, steal. I wish they would have had that rule. Actually, I should have written the rules up myself. At TREODAYY. You know why? The reason I say that, Gant, is because when you make an agreement, you should keep it. And that's when I told Jeff too. He's like, well, maybe I say too much on the radio. And I'm like, if you make an agreement not to talk about something, then you can't talk about it. If you didn't make the agreement and you say, I agree to disagree with you, you don't think I should talk about it, but I'm not agreeing to that, talk about it all day long, and they have a choice of keeping you or firing you. But if you agree not to talk about something, you don't talk about it. So I'm the person that thinks if you make an agreement, you keep it. And when you make an agreement with Bravo, it's in the unsaid that you show up on time and you leave when you're finished. I mean, there are lots of things that professionals just do. So I have no problem with people having to honor their agreements. At DJat, oh no, that was that one. At TREDAYY, what is your favorite spot to do late night dinner in South Beach? Oh, my house. My house, absolutely my house. But I would probably say what other people might say would be what? What would other people say? Some people would say the Forge. Some people would say a Komodo, but that's not on South Beach. Some people would say, oh, Sardinia or one of the restaurants at the Fontainebleau.
This new lobster bar that opened up where the old China Grill is. It's
called
Lobster Bar, I think is what it's called.
Oh, really?
It's where the old China Grill is. And I've heard a lot of great things about it lately. So.
Well, you know what? I was driving by where the China Grill was the other night with Roy, and I said, I cannot believe the China Grill closed down. To me, it was one of the best restaurants. I loved it. I was shocked that it closed down. All right, and here from ADRINANA 1977. Where is your housekeeper Freda from originally? She's from Ecuador. Would I consider moving to Los Angeles? Well, I live there half the time now, and if RJ goes to school in Orange County, I'm going to be living in Orange County the other half the time. So yes, I would consider it. I would definitely consider living there, and I love it there, and I like my house there, even though I've had plenty of problems with the neighbors and the help, and I could go down the list.
You and Jeff and the neighbors.
Yeah, Jeff and I and the neighbors. I mean, it's just unbelievable. We're the only sane ones on the street. At EMKOLTKO, can the Watch What Crappens guy be guest on your podcast like you were on theirs? Well, maybe when I go to California, I'll have Ronnie set up his whole little system like James has here. And maybe I'll do a little podcast, or what do you call it there, Lunch with Lynn. I'll just have them on there and talk to them. They're so funny. Their shows are selling out in 30 seconds. Go to Watch What Crappens Live and look at their website and see when and where they're going to be. The tickets are not expensive, and you get a couple of drinks when you're there, and I'm telling you, we laughed till we cried. They're really funny.
It was the funniest night of belly laughs in West Palm Beach. I haven't laughed that hard in I don't know how long.
We were roaring and howling. Now, you're gonna like it no matter what. But if you watch reality TV, then you're really going to get every joke, and you'll just love it. It was so funny.
I was surprised how many straight married men were there with their wives.
Yeah,
and they were still
and they knew it.
They were laughing just as
They're
hard.
watching those shows. Now they say they're watching them to keep their wives happy. They like the shows. I'm telling you. By the way, just speaking of how did I get so fabulous, all kinds Saluki. Well, we had some sponsors on our podcast already. Who knew? So, Kraft Mac&Cheese Frozen Dinners. How fitting. Have one now during Lunch with Leah and see which one of us is the cheesiest. That wasn't their commercial. James wrote that. But anyway, we love Kraft Macaroni and Cheese. Oh my God, I made that my whole life for my kid. Well, there was some news at the Emmys. I mean, we could go 2 hours. I'm never going to get through all this. So there was some Emmy news. Tom Arnold's tweets. Oh my God. So I'm sitting home minding my own business.
Okay.
And Tom Arnold tweets out that he was attacked by Mark Burnett. So here's what he says, at Tom Arnold. Mark Burnett just went apeshit and choked me at this huge Emmy party. Then he ran away with his torn pink shirt and missing gold chain. I'm waiting for the LAPD. An hour later, Burnett's wife stepped into the fray with her own accusation. Roma Downey tweets, got this bruise tonight, and she showed a picture of it on her wrist. Tom Arnold tried to ambush my husband Mark and me at a charity event. Is your TV show worth it, Tom? Please. But then Tom responds back, bullshit. You lie, you crazy husband attacked me, you psycho. I'm filing a police report and suing you for defamation. And then somebody goes, is that a fake news or a real bruise? And then someone goes, well, Patton Oswald jumped into the fray and asked Arnold if he was okay, trying to put an end to the confrontation. Now, meanwhile, apparently these are the people they're going to ask to testify. Billy Eichner, Patton Oswalt, Allison Hannigan, and a guy named Probst tried to break it up, and apparently somebody videoed it. So I hope they show the video. So later, Arnold started sharing who might be a reliable witness for what he alleged happened. And he goes, Tom Arnold says, Kevin Bacon's a solid, reliable brawl witness. Sissy Bacon's a wingman. So I guess Kevin and his daughter were there, and they're gonna be witnesses. And then he goes, Tom tweets again. Roman knocked Brian Fogel's phone out of his hand after Mark Burnett choked me. Brian came with me. He won the Oscar this year for his amazing documentary Icarus. Yeah, and he has a tape. So I guess the guy that won the Oscar, instead of talking about his Oscar all the next day, was talking about the Mark Burnett brawl with Tom Arnold. But he taped it, so maybe he'll be able to have another documentary and another Oscar.
Apparently, according to E! News last night, he was filming, and that's why Mark Burnett.
He was filming the thing?
He arrived at the event with his camera crew because E! News was recording last night, and he did provoke him. People are saying that he actually was getting him.
Mark provoked him.
No,
Tom provoked him.
His camera crew and was trying to get more and more and pushing. And it was also covered today on Howard Stern's show about how the first episode of the show, which aired last night, apparently is now accusing Howard Stern of also having tapes. Which Howard says that's impossible. Everything you hear and everything you see is on my show. I don't have anything.
Well, it came to a boil because there was a show out on Viceroy last night that Tom Arnold called hunting down the tapes of Trump. So apparently there's a set of tapes from The Apprentice where Trump was using the N-word over and over and over again and slurring a lot of bad stuff. Apparently Omarosa says she's heard the tape. Yes. Well, now Ronan Farrow apparently has the tapes. That's the latest news. So Mark Burnett just was mad because it's called The Hunt for the Trump Tapes, and it was on last night at 10:30 on Viceland. And Mark Burnett, it's from the Apprentice episode. It's the tapes that they had cut from there. So, and he goes, so Mark Burnett's, what's his name? Arnold goes up and says something to him about it, and Roma says it's worth saving the country, and so he's going to put him out there. And so let's see what happens. But anyway, it was a real fight because apparently he went up and started asking him. Arnold started asking Mark about these tapes, and Mark's like, blah, blah, blah. Don't you think it's worth saving the country? And then they get into a fight. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, I told you Omarosa says that she's heard the tapes, and let's see what happens. We'll see what the. I hope they come out. Well, I hope the tapes come out if he said all those things, and I think there's no doubt in most people's mind that he did. I think if you call someone a birther for 5 years with no evidence, probably don't like black people.
Well, it was actually rumored during the election, like during the and then he was trying to keep it quiet, but those producers are very good friends with him. They're also evangelicals, so.
Oh, well, by the way, they paid Mark Burnett $25 million to produce the inauguration, and a lot of people construed that to be hush money for sitting on the tapes. Yep. And they're all in it together, and you're right, they're fake Christians. I can't with these people. I will guess Mark Burnett won't be producing my reality show. So Betty White has won 8 Emmys for 80 years in show business, and they honored her. They mentioned Senator McCain in the memoriam. I thought that was really nice. And people wearing buttons that say, I believe Christine Blasey and I still believe Anita Hill around on their dresses and handbags. I saw one woman had them all on her handbags. I go, oh my God, I wish I had some handbags to send them with those buttons and I could get everybody promoting my handbag line at leahblack.com. And congratulations, Ross Matthews and RuPaul won an Emmy. How about that? And the Game of Thrones won for drama series. And Rachel Brosnahan used her acceptance speech to urge people to vote. Well, that was a good use of her time, everybody. Everybody should vote, whether you vote for who you want, but you should vote. Glenn Weiss, the director for the Variety special, proposed to his girlfriend on his knee on the stage. How about that?
It was
got
great.
Up there and got on his knee and proposed, and she was crying, and it was really cute. And then The Marvelous Miss Maisel took home the most Emmys of all the shows. So there you have it. That's the Emmy highlight. You see,
On Prime Video.
you do not need to watch the news, watch TV, or read anything. You just need to tune in to Lunch with Leah. I will curate all the news for you, and everything that you need to know will be featured right here every Wednesday from 12 to 1. In celebrity news, the New York Times says that Christine Leahy is playing the feminist Gloria Steinem in A Life on Broadway. That should be really good. I love that Christine Leahy. She was the one that was in that show with Ellen Barkin, and that guy went up and said, how many men did you have to F-U-C-K to get that? No, he goes, how did it go? She said something, he said something about the coat, and she said, well, you don't know how many men I had to F-U-C-K to get this fur coat or something. It was really funny. But anyway, she's a great actress. She's going to play Gloria Steinem, who's now 84 years old and still out there plugging away. And the BBC News is reporting that the guy from the Pussy Riots, Pilo Verzilov, was flown to Germany for treatment because he was poisoned in Russia. And you know, the Pussy Riot girls are all anti-Russia. I mean, they're talking about Russia and Putin and all that all the time. They've thrown him in jail before. And then she went on Lawrence O'Donnell's show talking about how horrible it is for the Russian people, and the upper people are taking all the money. And so they apparently tried to poison him. And he's now in Germany, and they say they can't interrogate him yet because he's still kind of delusional and in and out of consciousness. My God, I'm telling you, that's Putin. He didn't mess around. He knows how to poison people. I'm going to have to get a food taster if I don't shut up. Prince Henry turned 34. Isn't that cute? He's the cutest thing. I just think he's so cute. His wife's doing a lot of charity over there. I think that's really great. And then The Crown won Best Drama at the British Rose Day Awards, and according to Deadline Hollywood. I love The Crown, and now they've cast the older version of the Prince and the Queen, and I can't wait to see that. It's going to be fabulous. And then here's another one for you. Speaking of royal news, Kate Middleton's on maternity leave again. She's going to have another kid. Did you know that? She's already got 3, so now she's going to have 4? Am I right about that? According to the expressio.uk. I'm just wondering if this is like, I'm confused about it. But apparently she was, I don't know. We have to find out. But apparently she had another maternity leave, and she showed up for some event, and it made news because she was on maternity leave. I didn't even know that.
This is Kate Middleton.
I did not know that. Yep. So I don't know if she is pregnant again. I'm going to tell you, either they really just love sex, or she just wants to keep building up that little family of hers to push everybody else down in the line of getting to the royal family. I don't know. That's excuse me, I have the sneezing.
Bless you.
Anyway, we have to find out if that's true.
I just Googled it. I don't see anything about it.
I just read it that she left something from her maternity leave, so I don't know. Maybe this is old news that was reprinted. Kathy Griffin left the morning show, and she, she left the morning show, so now she's been out and she's going to make a movie, apparently, and she's writing songs. So there you go. Who knew? And the little guy, Jeffrey Owen, that clerk that was doing groceries at the Trader Joe, he got another part. In an NCIS in New Orleans, he's going to be a guest star. So this little guy's career is bouncing back because of that woman shaming him over his job. Shame on her.
And Fox News.
Oh, yeah, Fox News. They're just Fox noise. Fox fake news. Anybody that only gets their news from there isn't getting news. They're just getting propaganda, by the way.
Fake noise.
In celebrity news, Bert Reynolds was weeks away from shooting Quentin Tarantino's Manson movie. He was going to play Manson in Quentin Tarantino's movie. Oh. He would have been fantastic at that. And he was 82, and can you believe he died right before shooting that? That would have been such a great legacy and comeback, And then Julie Chen left the talk show. She left the talk. And amongst the Les Moonves scandal, now the question is if she'll leave Big Brother. I doubt she'll leave Big Brother because I think the talk would have been uncomfortable because everyone's talking about sexual harassment. But apparently I heard today on Howard Stern that Les Mundos is leaving, but he's going to be a free, unpaid advisor. Translation, he isn't going anywhere. He's just going to take his $100 million settlement and continue to advise them and call the shots behind the scenes. Now, if that's true and that gets out, women are going to rise up. They're going to rise up.
He even gets to keep his office.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's keeping his office? What does he need his office for? Oh, please. I can't with these people. And then Alex Baldwin apparently let it out of the bag that Justin Bieber and his niece Haley Baldwin got married. But I think, are they still denying it?
I saw something yesterday where they got married at the courthouse, but they're going to have a religious ceremony for their family and friends.
So, because even after he said that, she tweeted out that they weren't married yet. But then he said they were, so I guess they probably are. I don't know. But anyway, I like both of them. You know, Roy went and spent the entire day in Atlanta at Justin Bieber's house, and he invited me to go. And because I don't like to fly and I'm lazy, I said, oh, no, I didn't care. Now I regret it. I wish I would have gone, because it would have been fantastic to hang out a day with him at his house. Just Roy and him hanging out. That was back when he had that, what was that problem he had?
When he was caught speeding.
Speeding. Oh, Lord. And Roy represented him. And he texts Roy from time to time, and he texts like a rapper. He shortcuts his texts. They're kind of cute. Roseanne character, Roseanne Barr, is going to be killed off during the Connors. What do you think about that? They're going to kill it off.
They announced it yesterday. She's going to die of an opioid overdose. She's
having my God, I bet she's livid. I tell you, I think the punishment might not meet the crime. I mean, sometimes they overdo the punishment. I mean, maybe she could have been sick in the hospital for 5 years, and then people would never know if she was coming back, and let her save a little face. I mean, I don't agree with what she did. It was awful, but I mean, the punishment really, sometimes people really lose their whole life over one bad thing. I mean, it's not like she was judging other people's lives or anything in terms of like being on the Supreme Court. But anyway, and then Tom Ford came out with these cute little sequin. You know, ever since they found, what was her name, Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, little red slippers, I said to myself, somebody's going to come out with those little red slippers again and make them popular. Well, he came out with the same kind of a look and little pink sequin slippers, hot pink, and one says pussy and the other one says power. Yes. They're little slingbacks, like a 1.5-inch heel. I don't know. I think it's rather funny. Anyway, and according to Perez Hilton and Radar Online, Jamie Foxx has his cousin that was in a wreck and got paralyzed and has no money, and he's living on his aunt's couch or his grandmother's couch. And he's reached out to Jamie Foxx several times, and Jamie Foxx hasn't been willing to help him. So, he's a quadriplegic with 2 kids, and he didn't have a seatbelt on. Now, my question is, do you think Jamie should help him? What do you think? I mean, here you're a rich movie star worth probably $100 million, and you've got a cousin who knew if they were close or distant cousins or barely knew each other or best friend cousins when they grew up. But he gets in this accident, he becomes a paraplegic, and then he wants Jamie to help pay for medical treatment for him and a place, I guess, for him to live, I think is what it was. So my question is, do you think these movie stars and these wealthy people have an obligation to help with people?
No, I think it depends on the relationship. You don't have to all of a sudden, I don't think you have to all of a sudden take care of a relative if you don't know them or you've never heard from them. I don't think that's fair, but I mean, if you have a relationship with them, that's a different
What do you think, James?
I think it's every man for themselves.
Oh my God, this is what I'm surrounded with. Do you see why I'm trying to survive in this office every day? I think I would do that for a stranger. So of course I would do it for a relative. Oh, now they're going to change their damn story. Bullshit. Oh, you see, I can't with these people anymore. Okay, I'm just curious what anyone would think. So Woody Allen's wife, Sonia Lee, or whatever, Sonia, who used to be his stepdaughter, who was the adopted daughter of his ex-wife, Mia Farrow, has come out now and told her side to the story, and people are telling her she should shut up. Well, I think she has a right to tell her side. Everyone's been talking about it for 30 years, so why shouldn't she tell her side to the story? I want to hear it anyway. It's good gossip. then Paul McCartney earned his first #1 album in 36 years on the Billboard charts. Isn't that fantastic? I love a good comeback. And I've heard it's really good. And I love the fact he had a big comeback. And I love the fact that 36 years later, he's still playing music. That tells you so much about who he is. It wasn't just about the fame and the fortune and the whole Beatles thing and the Wings thing and the rest of it. It's really, he really loves what he's doing, and he loves to write songs and play music, and so good for him. I hope we all buy it. I don't know, you guys all get it on iTunes or whatever. Someone can just download it for me just so I can contribute, because I don't even know how to use iTunes. Harrison Ford has a YouTube video out that you guys should all watch. It's a speech on climate change. And his whole I guess the summation of it would be, stop giving power to people who don't believe in science. And I want to echo that. Meanwhile, there's a whole controversy over whether or not the Sesame Street Bert and Ernie were gay lovers. Well, does anybody really care?
No.
I don't really care. They're saying that they were, but then I saw somebody else came out and said that they weren't. And one of the producers said that they were just best friends and they had no sexual orientation. So I don't know. And I don't care. When people, you know, for me, when the world is going to be a better place is when people don't even think about whether you're gay or black or Asian or brown or green or purple or anything, where you just like, everybody's just the same. I mean, why is anybody asking? I mean, who cares? I mean, anyway, whatever. Well, you know, I can only imagine these parents having to explain, these GOP parents, their daddy, mommy, were Ernie and Bert gay? And then they got to go explain that whole thing? I think a better question is, well, you know, how do you explain Trump's 17 accusers and a penis shaped like a mushroom? Those are the questions you don't want from your kids. And Volkswagen Beetle is going to roll off their last Volkswagen this next year. I think that's a sad thing. I mean, to me, that was like a whole era that's going to be closed in a chapter, and those would probably become collectibles. Maybe we should go buy one. The ones to have would be the old ones that you kept in perfect condition. I think they're kind of cute little cars. I like them. And then there's another sex scandal at the Vatican, and I figured it out. The answer to that is just have all female nuns. Don't have any of those guys doing anything. Those, what do they call them, bishops or whatever they are?
Bishops and priests.
Priests, don't have any priests.
Are females.
That's what I said. Just get all nuns. Keep all nuns. Yeah. Well, yeah, right. Those are redundant. But yeah, just don't have any of those guys. Have all women. Let's see. What else can I tell you about? Well, I'll tell you this later, but I'll keep it for next week. It's about how miserable people are right now. People are more miserable now than ever in history, and in the U.S. it's worse than everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, put that one in the door.
Then in South Africa, Jason, a man-eating lion. He's eaten 13 people. It's a tigress in India. No, it's in India. And he's ate 13 people. So the Supreme Court of India has now given the forest rangers permission to kill the animal. Well, you think they could have done that at person number 2. Why do they have to wait till they're up to 13 people?
Why are people walking around with his
Well, I agree. They shouldn't be. You know, I don't know. Is he going into the villages? Or are these people going out to hunt him? I don't know. I just don't know. And then ABC is reporting that scientists have developed a blood test that they can detect your internal body clock. How interesting would that be? You go get your blood done and they tell you how old you are internally. Mine would be like 200. And then the big controversy about that cop, the female white cop that went into the black, I guess he's a businessman. He's just a regular guy, a neighbor, a professional. And she goes into his apartment and shoots him, thinking she's in her apartment, and just shoots him. And now, what are they talking about? That he had a little bit of marijuana in his kitchen. So the whole conversation has shifted to they did a search and he had a little marijuana in his kitchen. Why aren't they talking about the white woman that went into someone else's apartment and shot a black guy dead for no reason? They're talking about the marijuana. They're trying to turn it around on him. And people want to know why people are taking a knee. Take a knee. Nike sales are up 31% right now. You know, so I say take a knee. And then Cher's Got the Scoop has been mentioning us lately, so you guys need to tune into her. Watch What Crappens, Dumb Gay Politics, Perez Hilton, BuzzFeed, and the Huffington Post have all mentioned us. So you know, I used to write those political articles for the Huffington Post. I should start doing that again. I'm just so sick of the politics. I just can't anymore. Speaking of politics, I'm going to give you just a little tiny bit of politics before we go. However, before we do that, apparently having a lot of sex reduces your mortality rate. You will live longer. So there you go. That makes sense. And
Especially burying me on Friday.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Now, the Time magazine released a list of figures accused from sex misconduct. Since Harvey Weinstein was accused, the list is up to 141, with Kavanaugh being the latest one. And by the way, speaking of politics, Hillary Clinton added 100 pages to her book, What Happened. So you can catch up on her 2 years after the administration, I guess, an update on where she's coming from and what she thinks. She was on Madoff last night. I missed it, but I heard it was like listening to a normal, civilized person talk instead of crazy. Now, Senator Collins and Murkowski from Alaska are getting a lot of heat about Kavanaugh, and people have been mailing Senator Collins hangers protesting Kavanaugh, saying he's going to be get rid of the right for women to choose whether or not they want to have an abortion. So, I mean, the GOP's gone nuts. They want to restrict women's rights to choose if they want an abortion, and Ted Cruz wants a ban on dildos. I mean, and Mike Pence wants to pray about it and have conversion therapy. Where are these people coming from? And then they want to put this guy on the Supreme Court. The only reason they want him on there is because he doesn't think a president should be able to be subpoenaed or indicted while they're president. He thinks they're above the law, and that's why Trump handpicked him. And that's why they're pushing so hard to get him on. McConnell didn't want him. McConnell said, listen, it's going to be hard to get him through. He's written too many things. You know, he went after Vince Foster's family. He went after Bill Clinton, wrote that whole list of questionings for him with the Monica Lewinsky. I mean, he's had a whole ton of writings that are just not let's say Republican or right-leaning. They're politically operative type writings. He's like a political operative. And Trump's dying to get him on the Supreme Court. And I still think there's something fishy about Kennedy retiring when his son works for the Deutsche Bank that has loaned $1 billion to Trump and the Kushners. And then he retires out of nowhere at a relatively early age. And then they start pushing this guy through who wasn't even on the short list until they found a guy. They found one lawyer, one judge, and all of the judges that thinks the president shouldn't be indicted are questioned when they're president, and that's the one they're going to railroad through. And then this woman comes up and says, he attempted to rape me when we were 14 years old, when I was 14 or 15 and he was 17, at a party at the prep school that they went to. She went to an all-girls and he went to an all-boys prep school, and they had a party, and apparently he attempted to rape her. And the scary part for her was it was another guy in the room that is since then saying, well, he wasn't there and he doesn't remember it. Well, this guy wrote a book about all the things that went on at this prep school and how they had a pack amongst them to drink 1,000 cans of beer, and that he had a guy that was a pseudonym for a name in the book called Bart O'Kavanaugh instead of Brett, that apparently got drunk and threw up in the back of a car. And he was known for being stumbling drunk and went to rehab, and now he's found Jesus, and he wrote this whole book about all the stuff that they did when they were kids. And now he's just saying, oh, he's not going to testify because he doesn't remember it. And Kavanaugh doesn't remember anything about it before they even told him where the party was. He goes, oh no, I went to that party. And they're like, people are like, well, she didn't say where the party was or what party. Oh well, I didn't go. You know, so they're trying so hard to rush this person through, and the Democrats are having a tsunami fit about it. I mean, they're outraged, and all the women in the Senate. And here's the other thing. You got 10 guys on the Senate Intelligence Committee, all men, going to sit there and judge this woman. Hell, they're all going to sit there and judge this woman. We need more women in power, because at least the Democrats have 2 women on the Senate Intelligence Committee that will weigh in on whether this should go to a vote on the floor. So Trump came out, of course, and he feels so sorry. He feels so sorry for this poor guy and what he's going through. Not one mention of, I feel bad for the woman in the event that it turned out to be true. And he won't allow the FBI to investigate it, saying the FBI doesn't want to investigate it. Well, of course they want to investigate it. That's what they do. They do background checks. And the woman is a PhD professor now, and she took a lie detector test. And they're saying, well, they knew about it for 3 months. No, Dianne Feinstein was notified on July 31st, notified by it. So that's 6.5 weeks. So during that time, the woman wasn't sure if she wanted to come forward. So then when her name leaked out to the press anyway, she said, now I will come forward. So they're saying, great, we'll give you an hour to testify. Come tell us what happened. And the judge has already said, well, I didn't do it. And that's going to be the end of it. That's how they're going to try to railroad this whole thing. And women everywhere need to stand up. Where are those pussy hats? We need to start the pussy hat movement again. I can't take it anymore.
Grab your Tom Fords.
Grab your pussy shoes, pussy power shoes. And the death rate in Puerto Rico is 2,975 from the hurricane, and Trump is saying that's a lie. And they had 2 independent studies, one in Harvard and one at the University of Virginia, who came up with that number, and the governor certified it, and he's just lying about it. Meanwhile, if you want to get involved in politics, check me at leahblack.com. Hello at leahblack.com. We have a fundraiser for Mary Barzey on the 25th of this month, one for the next Governor Gilliam. That one's pending. The date is pending. And for Donna Shalala on October the 21st. So we need to get those 3 seats. If you get a hold of me, I'll tell you how to find out more about it. Anyway, so my worry now is FEMA is setting up a system where the president can send messages to your cell phone. What in the hell are we going to do now? Like Twitter's not enough. Like we don't have enough chaos going on. He's going to be giving a cell phone.
They've had this for a while, but he is
activating it.
That's ever testing it. So they're testing it tomorrow.
Because he wants to go. He wants to control the world. He wants to be a dictator. So he wants to be able to call our cell phones or text our cell phones. And there's got to be a way to block that, right?
No, it's in the in your operating system. It's in the emergency system. So you can turn off like Amber Alerts and things like that, but you cannot turn off.
Okay. You know what his emergency is going to be? Yeah. This is the wettest water we've ever seen in South Carolina. Yeah. This is the wettest water. Feel sorry for me. Feel sorry for me. Putin snubbed me. Oh, I've solved world peace. Those are going to be his emergencies. I just can't with him anymore. Oh my God. And then the trade wars. Now they're saying that this trade war with China is going to cost Americans like up to 30% more on everything aluminum, a lot of the cars, canned goods. So we're paying for it. The soybean farmers, because of the trade war, are already losing money, and they're predicted to lose a whole lot more. And this trade war is just going to run us into debt. And we ran up the deficit over $1 trillion. So this is all what he calls all this winning. We're doing all this winning.
It's also why your iPhone is going to be $1,300 because all the parts are aluminum and are made overseas. That's why Apple's trying to move a lot of their stuff back over here to start, actually making the parts and building the phones here in the United States. They're doing that with the tax break he gave, but in the meantime, we're going to all, be paying a lot more for these devices.
There are ways to do it, and the ways to do it are like gradual incremental changes and not put everybody in debt in the meantime. All right, so my quote of the week is that inner peace is acquired when you don't accept anything less, when you don't let your circumstances dictate the quality of your life. Well, that's one of those things, say what I do and rather than do what I do, because I tell you what, it's hard to have inner peace today with the world the way it is when you have a kid at home and you know what they're growing up into with the deficit, the hurricanes, and the rest of it. So meanwhile, have you noticed Little Black wasn't here today? Did anyone notice?
Yes, there were a couple comments. They were wondering where Little Black was, and then somebody said they hope that he's doing okay.
He's good. He wasn't the one sick. It was Dottie that was sick. But he didn't come because we have some out-of-town guests coming today, and we don't know how long they're going to be here, and I just couldn't deal with all of it at once. And I hated leaving him today. Oh, it's so sad. But anyway, I hope you'll share this share this podcast, share this Facebook Live, tweet it out, post it, hit share, and then tune in next Wednesday at noon for all the gossip, because apparently we're going to have Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and the Orange County gossip and flipping out gossip and politic gossip and all the rest of it. So there's a lot going on. You don't want to miss it. You don't have to listen to any news. You can just sit back and listen to your radio now on your iPhone, because I'm going to curate the news for you and tell you everything you need to know that's going on in the world. So don't miss me, noon Wednesday, Lunch with Leah. Bye, everybody.